Move over, self-help gurus and dating coaches, Wendi Deng has written the real guide to climbing the social ladder, one power move and prenup at a time. From seducing her host family's husband to becoming Rupert Murdoch's third wife, to allegedly cozying up with a former British prime minister. Oh, and maybe a Russian president? Wendi didn't just break glass ceilings, she shattered egos, empires, and bank accounts. Love her or hate her, she's a walking TED Talk in calculated ambition, reminding men everywhere that even billionaires aren't safe from a strategically spilled coffee or a well-timed gym date. Spoiler alert, Wendi doesn't play checkers, she plays chess, and every move ends in a yacht. In the grand, glittering arena of the ultra-rich, where power couples swap vows faster than hedge funds flip assets, one name stands out as a cautionary tale and a masterclass: Wendi Deng, a woman who began her ascent from a Chinese factory town and ended up sipping champagne with Hugh Jackman in the Hamptons. Wendi didn't just navigate the rules of high society, she rewrote them. Her story is not one of love or luck, but of strategy, audacity, and the kind of ambition that makes billionaires sweat through their custom-tailored suits. Or picture this: a young woman lands in the US as a fresh-faced exchange student and, within months, seduces her host family's husband. Fast forward a couple of marriages, a few yachts, and a rumored text scandal with Tony Blair, and Wendi Deng has outmaneuvered some of the most powerful men in the world. What's her secret? Bold moves, a charming disregard for convention, and a knack for making billionaires look like amateurs. But this isn't just a tale of femme fatale fabulousness. It's a manual for navigating the treacherous waters of wealth and power, a game where Wendi didn't just survive, she thrived. So, gentlemen, take notes. As we unpack her audacious rise, you'll learn everything from how she flipped a spilled coffee into a billion-dollar relationship to why even the richest man in the room isn't safe from heartbreak. Or the front page of the Wall Street Journal, or a step-by-step guide to outmaneuvering the patriarchy. Wendi Deng didn't just climb the social ladder, she took an elevator, rewired the building, and walked out with the deed. Her rise wasn't about luck or beauty, though her charm clearly worked overtime. It was about pure, calculated ambition. Each relationship was a rung on her ladder, each man a carefully chosen milestone. And let's be real, she didn't just outmaneuver the patriarchy, she turned it into her personal chauffeur. Step 1, stay strategic, always. Wendi's big break wasn't a job offer or a scholarship, it was a family affair, literally. She arrived in California as a young exchange student and quickly turned her host family's husband, Jake Cherry, into husband number 1. Was it love? Probably not. But Wendi wasn't interested in love. She was interested in securing her U.S. citizenship. She got the man, the green card, and a fast exit when their marriage imploded 2 years later. Lesson for men: if you're hosting a young, ambitious woman in your home, lock up your heart and your divorce lawyer's number. Step 2, upgrade without loyalty. Once she had her citizenship, Wendi wasn't about to settle for mediocrity. Her next stop, Rupert Murdoch, the media titan who had the wealth of a nation and the charm of a tax audit. She met him while working at Star TV, a Murdoch-owned venture. The exact details of their courtship are murky: a spilled coffee or a gym date, maybe both. But within months, she went from employee to Mrs. Murdoch. Not content with just the title, Wendi made sure their union was productive, literally. She persuaded Rupert to freeze his sperm, securing her position as the mother of 2 of his children. Grace and Chloe weren't just kids, they were trust funds and pigtails. Lesson for men: when a woman insists on freezing your sperm, it's not just biology, it's strategy. Step 3, the art of the affair, allegedly. Of course, no billionaire marriage is complete without a juicy scandal. Enter Tony Blair, former Prime Minister of the UK. According to leaked texts and endless rumors, Wendi's friendship with Blair went beyond diplomatic dinners. The fallout was spectacular. Tabloids exploded, Rupert filed for divorce, and Wendi was left with a yacht, an apartment, and the most dramatic Google search history of the decade. Lesson for men: even the most powerful man on earth can be outplayed by a few late-night texts. Wendi's rise wasn't just a series of lucky breaks, it was a case study in precision. Every move was deliberate, every relationship means to an end. And yet, her story doesn't end with a happily ever after. It ends with $37 million, a public divorce, and more rumors than a Reddit thread. Speaking of rumors, let's talk about how Wendi turned her breakup into a networking opportunity and built a social web that even billionaires envied. Love, betrayal, and $37 million. For most people, a divorce is a personal tragedy. For Wendi Deng, it was a high-stakes negotiation complete with public humiliation, yacht allocations, and enough drama to make succession look tame. Rupert Murdoch, the man who once described Wendi as his greatest love, discovered just how expensive love could be when lawyers and leaked texts entered the chat. The beginning of the end. After years of marriage, Rupert found himself blindsided, not by Wendi's charm this time, but by rumors of her alleged dalliances. Reports of her close friendship with Tony Blair left the media mogul reeling. And how did Wendi find out her marriage was over? Through the Wall Street Journal, a publication conveniently owned by Rupert himself. Because why hand deliver bad news when you can break it in 64-point Helvetica? Lesson for men. If you own a newspaper, it's better for announcing divorces than anniversary plans. The divorce settlement, yacht dreams, and salty Instagram posts. Now, let's talk numbers. The divorce settlement granted Wendi $37 million, a yacht, and a swanky NYC apartment. Sounds like a sweet deal, right? Not when you compare it to Jerry Hall, Rupert's next ex-wife, who reportedly walked away with $200 million after a much less dramatic split. One can only imagine Wendi side-eyeing Jerry's alimony checks while muttering, "Where was my Montana ranch?" But Wendi wasn't just bitter. She was strategic. Her daughters, Grace and Chloe, each secured $200 million in trust funds, thanks to Wendi's insistence that they receive an equal slice of Rupert's empire. Some might call it maternal love, others might call it financial chess. A lesson for men: billionaires love their kids, just not as much as they hate courtroom battles. The fallout. Reputation ruined, legacy secured. Rupert didn't just divorce Wendi, he torched her reputation on the way out. Accusations that Wendi was a Chinese spy started circulating, supposedly fueled by Rupert himself. Whether or not the rumors were true didn't matter, the damage was done. Wendi retreated from the public eye, splitting her time between Manhattan and Southampton, leaving behind a trail of scandal and yacht parties. But here's the kicker: Wendi still wins. Sure, her reputation took a hit, but her daughters are rubbing elbows with the elite. She's still holidaying in St. Bart's, and every Thanksgiving, she's hobnobbing with Hugh Jackman. The woman isn't just surviving, she's thriving on her terms. Lesson for men: never assume you've won the breakup just because you filed first. Wendi might lose the battle, but she'll always win the yacht. Despite the public fallout, Wendi proved that a divorce isn't the end of the game, it's just halftime. And while Rupert was licking his wounds, Wendi was busy rebuilding her empire, one dinner party at a time. Next, we'll explore how she turned her social life into a billion-dollar Rolodex. Wendi's social web, building empires with dinner parties. For most people, a divorce is a time to retreat and reflect. For Wendi Deng, it was a networking opportunity. While her ex-husband was busy dragging her name through the tabloids, Wendi was curating her next act, one exclusive dinner party at a time. Forget LinkedIn. Wendi's connections came with ocean views, trust funds, and a guest list straight out of Vanity Fair. Thanksgivings with Hugh Jackman, New Year's in St. Bart's. When you're navigating the social elite, you don't just survive, you thrive in style. Wendi spends Thanksgiving at Hugh Jackman's home in the Hamptons, ensuring that every turkey carving doubles as a PR opportunity. New Year's Eve, that's reserved for St. Bart's, where billionaires, celebrities, and European royals gather to toast to their tax havens. And her daughters? Raised in New York City, Grace and Chloe are more than just heirs to trust funds. They're Nepo baby royalty. Grace is a Yale student who counts Phoebe Gates, Bill Gates' daughter, Eve Jobs, Yes Steves, and Apple Martin because, of course, as her inner circle. Wendi's networking isn't just personal, it's generational. Lesson for men: if you think marriage is the end game, think again. For women like Wendi, the end game is Thanksgiving with Wolverine. The art of the elite circle. Wendi doesn't just attend elite events, she curates them. She's besties with Dasha Zhukova, an art world powerhouse, and even introduced Rupert to Dasha's mother, who is now his girlfriend. Yes, Wendi's ex-husband owes his current relationship to her matchmaking skills. It's equal parts petty and impressive. But her network isn't all about favors. Wendi has crafted an empire of connections that keep her relevant in high society, even after her public scandals. Her social Rolodex includes tech moguls, political families, and billion-dollar heirs. It's not just a network, it's a safety net. Lesson for men: if she's setting you up on dates after your divorce, you haven't escaped her orbit, you've just been demoted. The billion-dollar trust fund play, Wendi's ultimate move, ensuring her daughters would inherit a slice of Rupert's empire. While many ex-wives fade into obscurity after a messy divorce, Wendi fought for her daughter's $200 million trust funds and won. The Murdoch sisters aren't just wealthy, they're connected to a global network of power players, all thanks to their mother's relentless ambition. Lesson for men: if you think your ex is finished, wait until you see her holiday card featuring your yacht, your kids, and Hugh Jackman. Wendi's social strategy isn't just impressive, it's iconic. While others might stumble after a high-profile divorce, Wendi danced her way through gala season and secured her spot at every Billionaires dinner table. But what about those pesky spy rumors and her mysterious past? Let's explore the conspiracy theories that make Wendi Deng a legend in her own right. Are the spy allegations a femme fatale twist? Every great story needs a twist, and Wendi Deng's life delivers it in the form of whispered espionage, international intrigue, and enough conspiracy theories to fill a Netflix docuseries. Somewhere between her ascent from factory worker to Hampton's holiday guest, people started asking, how does someone climb this high, this fast, without government-level assistance? Enter the spy rumors, a narrative almost too perfect to ignore. Is she or isn't she? The accusations began with a whisper: was Wendi Deng a Chinese spy? Rupert Murdoch himself allegedly fueled the speculation during their bitter divorce, reportedly claiming she was working for the Chinese government. Of course, there's no actual proof of this, but in the absence of evidence, there's plenty of gossip. Consider the details: Wendi's meteoric rise, her connections to political elites, and her unflappable demeanor in the face of scandal. Add in her rumored relationships with high-powered men like Vladimir Putin, and suddenly it doesn't seem so far-fetched. Did she charm her way to the top, or was she placed there by design? Lesson for men: if your ex-wife's LinkedIn connections include world leaders, start checking for bugs in your office. Dinner with the Kushners or not. One particularly juicy tidbit came from U.S. intelligence officials who reportedly warned the Kushners about Wendi's potential ties to the Chinese government. The idea of her dining with Jared and Ivanka adds another layer of intrigue to her already mysterious profile. It's a plot twist worthy of a spy novel, or at least an episode of The Americans. Lesson for men: if your ex-wife can send intelligence agencies into a tizzy, congratulations, you married a legend. Putin, prime ministers, and billionaire barons. Wendi's rumored list of love interests reads like a geopolitical summit. From Tony Blair to Vladimir Putin, her alleged relationships have sparked endless speculation. Is she a hopeless romantic with a thing for power? Or is she playing a game most of us can't even comprehend? One thing's for sure: Wendi's choice of companions keeps her name in the headlines. And while Rupert was busy whispering about espionage, Wendi was busy doing what she does best: staying unbothered. Lesson for men: if your ex's rumored boyfriend can annex Crimea, maybe don't start a fight in the first place. The reality of the rumors: whether or not Wendi Deng is a spy may never be proven, but does it even matter? The mere existence of the rumors only adds to her mystique. Spy or not, Wendi has mastered the art of being underestimated, misunderstood, and unforgettable. Lesson for men: the line between spy and strategic genius is razor thin, and Wendi Deng walks it in designer heels. While the world speculates about her allegiances, Wendi's focus remains crystal clear: building her empire, securing her legacy, and always staying one step ahead. But what can men actually learn from Wendi's calculated rise? Let's break it down with a sarcastic wink: what men can learn from Wendi Deng. Let's face it, gentlemen, Wendi Deng didn't just outsmart the men in her life. She turned them into stepping stones on her path to yachts, trust funds, and Thanksgiving with Hugh Jackman. But before you start hyperventilating into your bespoke blazer, take a moment. There are lessons here, albeit darkly humorous ones, for men navigating the treacherous waters of power, wealth, and, let's be honest, their own egos. 1. Power doesn't protect you. Think being a billionaire shields you from heartbreak? Think again. Rupert Murdoch, the man who practically invented modern media empires, was blindsided by Wendi's alleged affair and discovered his divorce through his own newspaper. Power, money, influence, none of it matters when someone is playing chess and you're stuck on checkers. Takeaway: just because you're at the top doesn't mean you can't fall. And when you do, Wendi Deng will be waiting at the bottom with a prenup and a smirk. 2. Beware the charm offensive. Wendi didn't conquer the world with brute force or beauty contests. She used strategy and charisma. From seducing her host family's husband to sparking the interest of media moguls and prime ministers, she proved that charm is the ultimate weapon. Takeaway: if she's quoting Sun Tzu on the first date, you might want to rethink your life choices. 3, never underestimate ambition. Wendi played the long game better than most hedge fund managers. She didn't just date billionaires, she secured citizenship, climbed the corporate ladder, froze some strategic sperm, and ensured her daughters inherited generational wealth. Love? That's secondary. Takeaway: ambition will outlast love, always. 4, your legacy isn't yours alone. Rupert may have spent decades building his empire, but Wendi made sure her daughters got their slice of the pie. She fought for their $200 million trust funds and ensured their places among the global elite. The Murdoch legacy isn't just Rupert's anymore, it's also Wendi's. Takeaway: if you're building an empire, make sure you're comfortable sharing it. 5, play the long game or get played. Wendi's story is one of patience and precision. From factory floors in China to the elite social circles of Manhattan, every move she made was deliberate. If you think short-term, you're just another rung on her ladder. Takeaway: it's not about winning the battle, it's about surviving the war. And Wendi Deng, she's undefeated. 6, watch your back and your front page. When the rumors start swirling, don't assume it's all baseless gossip. Wendi's alleged spy ties, her affair scandals, and her ability to stay in the headlines are all part of her mystique. If you're caught in her orbit, don't be surprised when the fallout lands you on page 1. Takeaway: if you're dating a woman who knows more billionaires than you do, tread carefully. Wendi Deng's life is less a love story and more a cautionary tale for men who think they're untouchable. She's proof that power is fleeting, charm is eternal, and billionaires are just as vulnerable as the rest of us. But for all her cunning moves, Wendi also serves as a reminder that ambition, when unchecked, creates as many victims as it does victories. Conclusion: the icon we deserve. Wendi Deng isn't just a name, she's a phenomenon. A strategist, a scandal, and a spy, allegedly. She's redefined what it means to work smarter, not harder. While the world debates whether she's a victim of ruthless ambition or its master architect, one thing is clear: Wendi has cemented her place in the halls of infamy, not with boardroom deals, but with bedroom negotiations. From seducing her way out of obscurity to maneuvering her daughters into the top tiers of high society, Wendi didn't just play the game, she wrote the rule book. Billionaire husbands, political elites, yachts, and trust funds are all part of her legacy. Whether she's plotting her next move from a Hamptons dinner party or casually networking on New Year's Eve in St. Bart's, Wendi remains a reminder that in a world of power, charm is the sharpest weapon. For men, her story is a darkly humorous wake-up call. Your wealth won't protect you, your power won't shield you, and your yacht won't save you. Wendi Deng is proof that even the most carefully constructed empires can crumble under the weight of ambition and a well-timed gym date. And for the rest of us? Wendi is the anti-hero we didn't know we needed. A woman who turned the tables on systems built to keep her out. Love her, hate her, or fear her, one thing is certain: Wendi Deng didn't come to play, she came to win. Final takeaway: you can't outplay someone who isn't following your rules. And Wendi Deng, she's already rewriting her next chapter.